early game as well here with the culmination of the two groups we have in today's lobby for survival stage. Now, they were being pulled and pushed in multiple directions here. It felt like they weren't quite sure which fight they wanted to set their gaze on, but now they've been thrust into one. They have to try and survive, taking a ton of damage up against the Evos. Good lay of the land from Link as well. Knows to look towards the distance, can see just over the ridge side where his next opponent is coming from. They've got an understanding of where exactly he's playing towards, but with the bullets connecting, they're going to start to farm up these elims. Melise, meanwhile, are crashing down as well. This is UDO Alliance still trying to push over that hill. They've been doing this for quite some time, Blank, and maybe it's going to start to work out. Nice connection onto Levites. He's dropped and finished off for good, and they're still pushing in.
Yeah, Cluck's doing a really good job here. I actually like the thought process we saw from UDO Alliance. Unfortunately for them, DX followed them down on that south side, which is a really cool play from DX. You don't a lot of times see teams chasing on this situation. In the meantime, Reject desperately trying to hold on towards their central compound. They left it, they moved towards that north side, but they did face off versus FaZe. But they're currently still in a strong position. Gladiators, for them, this game is very, very important. They already started things off really well with a 4 eliminer. It would be absolutely strange and weird circumstance that we see Gladiators get the majority of their points done on Sandhawk. As we know, they are horrid at this map. This is a map that they do not find a lot of success on, but already they're up to 7 eliminations. With 4 players alive, this is starting to be a really good run for them.
There's an itch in the back of my brain just reminding me of one of the Sandhawk games we saw from Gladiators quite some time ago, Blank. And I just remember it starting off in the same kind of way. The pressure's on Gladiators. The story's not going to happen. The crazy comeback towards the end is never going to be there. It feels like finally that Cinderella story won't be written. Something like this happens. We've seen it before on Sandhawk. I don't know what causes them to play like this sometimes, but they've certainly had their breakfast this morning, and they're coming out with some fibrous maneuvers, looking very solid in the moves they're making. 7 elims to the name, Blank. How much longevity have they got on this one? We'll keep our eyes on it because Gladiators need a good game, and the individuals are playing to prove that.
Yeah, they desperately do. Right now, facing off versus Duxan, not an easy team to go up against. MB Esports, they lose Fistboy on a knock. That's to DX, who are doing a really good job over on this eastern side, just clearing their way through. Up to 3 eliminations now. Alter Ego also chiming in. Bit of a better rotate from them over towards this south side, able to take over that compound that Reject were holding on to. I think a lot of that comes off the back of the fact that Gladiators are able to take over that compound that Reject were holding on to. I think a lot of that comes off the back of the fact that slow them down, able to take over that compound. The Reject will hold on to. I think a lot of that Reject off the back very much slows them down, able to take over that compound. The Reject will hold on to. I think a lot of that Reject very much slows them down, able to take over that compound. The Reject will hold on to. I think a lot of that Reject very much slows them down, able to take over that compound. The Reject will hold on to. I think a lot of that Reject very much slows them down, able to take over that compound. The Reject will hold on to. Very much slows them down, able to take over that compound. The Reject will hold on to. Very much slows them down, able to take over that compound. The Reject will hold on to. Very much slows them down, able to take over that compound. The Reject will hold on to. Very much slows them down, able to take over that compound. The Reject will hold on to. Very much slows them down, able to take over that compound. The Reject will hold on to.
So, not really what you want to be. A bit of flat sharing going on, and that's illegal. It's called subletting, Blank. FaZe going to clap back on the DX as well, finding a way to peek through the window and assault onto Paragin. That's an unlucky knock.
Over towards the east.
Yeah, I think right now, even though he's able to get Lamborghini up, it was kind of for nothing. This little high ground the Gladiators currently have control of was so fortuitous that they got the circle on the side. Coming off that high ground is very difficult, so they're trying to milk it for as much as they can here. Stay on this top side. side.
well.
But it's MBE Sports coming in to try and
40
challenge us. So
points
now,
hold
Gladiators
behind
need to
that
be
fifth-place
ready for
bubble.
this one.
5
Kitsune
matches to
luckily
make
is
up
in
that gap.
position as the DBS, only
think
able to
after
find
probably,
one though.
I
And
would
that's
say
not quite
moving into
enough.
the
The
last
rest of the
3
team
games, we'll be able to
instantly
start
needs to
discounting
improvise
teams
off
at
the
the
back
bottom
of
of the
this.
tables, but for
Sek
now
and
it is
Mondo
still
are
possible
down, so it's a
for anyone
decent
to
start.
make it
The
in.
nades start pouring in, and it's a nice nade in the
got a
backside
pretty
towards
strong couple of
Fistboy.
buildings here
Just
to
a
hold out the
Kaze
teams on the
left
northwest.
remaining, and Gladiators quickly
it is really
cleaning
nice
them
to
up
work
there.
from.
Up to
I mean, there's a lot of
12
open ground,
eliminations now,
so this
Jackie.
area
A
is
fantastic
held
start.
off.
Tixie's
Make sure it's
flying
free and
through
clear
the air.
clearly by the
Matic
terrain.
is on the
Holding
support.
in. Game Lord,
Oh,
nice and
mate.
high at the moment, but outside
This
the
is
circle,
perfection
we'll
put
have to
together
move
so
in, currently just
precisely
trying to
from
hold out teams like
Gladiators
Damwon,
right now. That
but
was
IHG,
beautiful.
in
The
meantime,
nade
HVP
work to
moved
defend
down to a
after the
compound
crash was on point.
just on the
and
north
then
side of the
straight
circle,
back in
but
to
it's
hungering
road
for more
slits
elims.
through the map.
peak down the hill, beautiful connection on the aim
Shots
skill
coming
as
through,
well.
trades off
And we
Avian
get
first to
left
fall, but it is
for
back
that
and forth.
final
LGD lose
four.
2.
A scrappy one.
A blow
That
dealt
as well.
to the
Black
Korean
Alter
squad, but it
Ego
is given
still
back
alive.
twofold.
They
And
were able
Forest
to
peeks
find
out
what the
lovely
nade
little
of
spray there
Manacles
onto
and shut them
Suki.
down,
Last
but
player
they've
for
now had the
LGD.
same
Going
gun
on
to
in to
them.
the fight.
Peek
Looking
out
for a
from
knock. We'll be able to find it.
Biceps,
YZ
and
as
with
well.
a smooth
Last
right
time
hook,
survivor
he's
on the
wiped them
previous
off
map.
the
Looking
face
for
of the
more here as well. And
battleground.
he takes
Three
down
squads
all of
remain.
that one.
Gladiators
LGD
currently
ruined
on
the
the
chances
outside
for
edge right
Korean
now.
squads.
It's FaZe with a very strong
It is
position.
unfortunate.
Alter
They'll be
Ego
moving forward with
still
just
need
the
to
one
work
player.
their way
5
in as well, but they went
eliminations
out
wrapped on
earlier on.
That is
Reject
disaster for Damwon.
holding on. Good
Game
game
Lord
for
just
them,
get
but the
decimated
Gladiators,
by AHC.
more
Just
points
move in
would
as
be
a 4-man
absolutely
squad. And
gorgeous
Game
for
Lord
them here. If they can win
cannot
out this
hold
game,
back the
they'll
tide
send
that
themselves
is AHC.
tumbling
They
towards
wash
that top
over them.
side of the lobby.
We'll
After
leave that
just
compound
one
clean of any
match, so 20
any Game
points.
Lord players remaining.
Realistically, if they get
Titans
themselves 25 after
towards
this,
the
they'll be
southeast,
very,
playing
very
on the high
safe.
ground,
It'll
looking
give them
down
a
towards the
buffer.
eastern
They still
side.
will need to
Very
put in the work
interesting
after the
end
rest of the
towards
day,
this Miramar,
but they'll be
honestly.
in so
Hacienda
much
del
better stead.
Patron still
And taking
in,
that pressure set
between
off
that
yourself
terrain down
this
towards that
early
south
on
side.
in the day
BTR
is
holding
so,
there currently.
nice.
I think for BTR right now things do get a little bit scary. You need to put some points on the
Taking
board,
the pressure
get
off
back into a position where they can
themselves,
leapfrog
applying
up
it
into
to
that top
reject
5.
Tokyo.
I
Problem
think
is,
they've
though,
been
it's
given
not
a
gonna
lot of
turn them into
chances where they can
diamonds.
get
It
those
seems
chicken
like they
dinners
will
being some
instead
good
just
spots, but
buckle
unable
under the
with the
pressure.
players they currently have
With
to
a peek
bring
out
that
here from
firepower
FaZe,
to the
as
table.
Gladiators encroach further on the compound, closing in on them, using their utility to try and blow Lufa out
Shots
of
from
the
Godless down the hill.
equation. Nade after
Pivotal
nade barreling
off
through,
angle
swing
coming
from
through from
FaZe
IHC
on the
to
stairway
slow
as
down this
well.
aggression.
And that connects.
Big
So
Galaxy
Neku,
for
left,
sure would
black
have
and
taken them
blue,
down.
down on his last legs
with
now.
this
As they
rotation
first onto
for
him,
the rest of the squad,
Gladiators
but
with
over the
only
top
a
they go.
duo
They want to
remaining
challenge
left.
the fight, but it's
I think
bad because
regardless of what
Lords
happens
launched
there,
an 8 over their
Gladiators
way.
are fairly pleased with
Oh,
this result,
goodness
right?
me.
Meku was
2
always
players
left
down,
behind
boarding
to
the
try
Galaxy.
and help the rest of the
Modi
team
gets
get
drawn
further
short.
up.
Ralph
Now it's
as well,
Matic in a
knocked on this approach.
1v3 scenario.
So
It's going to be very difficult for him to pull this type of thing
IHC
off. Goes for the
needs to stay alive
pre-fire
in
as
the
the
spot
circle
to
starts to push
allow
all
them the
these
chance
players
here.
in.
I
Has
see
an
low
idea
HP
of where
nade
they're
over the top,
swinging.
gonna
This rock
continue
is
to come through
really
from
nice
Lord.
to play
Needs
around,
by
but on
2
his end,
from Nick the
he's
Galaxy.
on the
Icy and
prowl,
Alex
and it will
doing
be
a lot of
found
work
by the
there,
rest
but
of
a
the team.
Molotov actually
Moment
burning
finishes
Alex
off
away.
Matic.
That might tick him.
Regardless,
Can he get the
FaZe
first aid
picks
off?
himself
Yep,
a
the fire
nice
will
win
go out
from
as
a
well.
very easy rotate
First aid
on that north
necessary.
side, but for Gladiators, that could have been a lot
Fire
more
as
for
well.
them.
Ready
Either
freeze
way,
to
I think it was
third
around
party.
about
There's
15
spots there.
eliminations they finished
It's
that
been
game
very,
with.
very
6
important
points
there
on top
from
of
the
it.
sidelines.
21
Meku coming in
points
with
is just
HVP
a
looking to
very,
finish up this
very
fight on the
nice
third
start
party,
for
but
them.
gets
You know
turned
what?
away
Jason
there.
might have
Godless
been
tries
right
to
to
get out
bring
of
him up
dodge
at the
in
start
the
of the
UAS
day.
very low.
No,
Freak
it's crazy,
also
isn't it?
finishing
You know,
off
we sit
Meku
there,
from the
and
sidelines.
Jason brings out
It's
all
not
his
the way they wanted it to
storylines
go.
that you
This
think
could
are
have been
never
a
going to
perfect
happen.
opportunity
And I
for
think
that
we hit the
third
mark
party,
for
but
3
losing
out
them
of
from the
3 in
process,
Jason
not
predictions
ideal.
all in
However,
one game.
they have
He's
to
doing
push
well
their
today,
way into
Black.
the
He's
circle
doing well.
somewhere, and this is
Oh,
probably
look
the
at
best
the
place to do it
dance.
on the top of the third
He's
party.
happy. He's pleased
Do
with
not
that one. I mean,
expect that
starting
player
off the
out
day
in
with
the
a
blue.
win
Meku
here
goes
from
down
Mela
to
is
unfortunate
it's really, really
circumstance
nice
there
for
for
him. Got his hot water
HBVP.
bottle
They'll
in
be
hand
aware of
as
it
well,
now.
mate.
Freak's still
Taking
low,
the heat
still
to the
ticking
next
away.
level.
This
Zone
is
4,
why
so the zone
FaZe are
will start to
winning.
out-heal
They're
the Mets.
bringing the heat in.
Lead
They're
over onto
exactly
Alex from
blank.
Tixie
That's
is
madness.
good news.
They got the
HBVP
moves
continue their
inside
bid
and
for this
outside of the
hillside. Remember, this
battleground,
is the
and they got the
Northwestern
chicken
Circle.
dinner to
This
boot
is the
as well.
circles that
Can't turn your nose
HBVP
up
should
at that
specialize
one,
in.
but I think
Shots
we do
over
have to give
their
a
way,
little
getting
bit of
taken away.
eyesight
Lord
over towards
dismounted
Gladiators,
as well.
looking at
Heals
the
come
stats
through,
in terms
looking
of
for
what they got up
Kitsune.
to on that one as
Tixie
well. That's a
roams
big
the
game
hillside
for them, right?
further.
They're
Freak
actually fragging as well,
disengages. He's
which I
moved
think
on
makes the
up
world of difference.
and out
in
of that
the
blue zone
sense of
position.
confidence. It's what we were talking
Flash comes
about
through.
way back at the
HBVP,
start of the
2
game.
eliminations
At least
to
now,
show for
having
it.
a high elim game,
Yeah, I mean, that's
it
a
should
really
perk
good
you up a
opportunity.
little
Learning
bit.
from
You're not
that
going to
last
feel
game
so
in the case
somber
of,
throughout
look,
the rest of the
if
day.
we need to punch
I mean,
in
the
somewhere,
teamwork
we
looked
need
really
that
good
battering
there
ram
from
to
the
do it. We
Gladiators
cannot have
towards
two
the end.
players behind
And
us
that's
watching
what
out
you
in
want to
towards
see
that circle,
overall.
towards
And the
the
main meantime,
they
we're
wait
going to
until it
send you back
closes
over
a little
to
bit
the other
more
team
before
over
sending
on the
outwards.
desk.
I think that you don't expect free count the blue, like you say, in which case they
Best
do
team,
lose
the
a player
best
in
team
that
here.
process.
Like FaZe could get their
Fine, in
victory
my
on the
opinion.
board
But now
here.
at least they have
Starting
a
things
position
off
to move in
strong
towards the
for
circle.
Group
Yes,
Red.
Aegon
But to
and
be honest,
Reject
there's a
are in
lot of
front
moving
them.
parts and a
There's
lot of
definite
working parts in
possibility
this
to
one
pick up a position
that allowed quite
Reek's
a few
currently
other teams
playing
to
in
have some
over on
decent
that western
results.
side.
Now,
And it's better
Max, I
than
know you didn't want to
nothing.
talk about it at the start of the day, but I'm going to make you
big
talk
bridge
about it
line
now.
as well to the
It's
west
G
of it, I'd say.
Gladiators.
See,
Okay,
that's
you know what?
exactly
They
where
got
they'll go.
themselves some
It's
impact.
fully
Give you that
covered,
much, Jason.
and they can play on the other side of the
I
circle.
think Kalari was
Ghost,
talking about that.
if
The
Tixi had gone down there, that
eliminations
would be
kind of got fed to
disaster,
them
so
in weird ways,
definitely
especially that
necessary.
fight versus Quest.
But that one, a
Ultimately,
nade
they're
over the
changing
top,
their drop
not
location
going
to
to land
the
in the
Eastern
building. Will have
Island,
spotted the Arc and
Matt
Tixi,
Bull's fight
going a
with
little bit
Inko,
closer
which
to
is
it.
very
Dramatic.
dramatic, Jason. It's
Somehow
completely
lands
free.
that
Even if
nade
you
across the
rotate
road.
late,
Nick
you
Galaxy
can
take
make
the
it
top.
through
Well,
trifecta. You can
HBBP
get
up
access
to 3
to
eliminations now.
Camp Hill.
They can
And off the back of
control
that, they
this
can
side,
start
but
blasting
Godless
at,
from
so many other
IHC
teams
is
like
still
Duxan,
there.
Rodrigo,
He's still in the
and
shack.
get
That
15
proved so
eliminations on the
dangerous
board.
for
They
Nick
needed
Galaxy.
those points here because they were in a tough spot before here, and they
And when you
already
hear that
doubled their
third
points.
party
They had
and you
20
don't
points
see
before this
an
match,
instant
and now
push on the
extra
second,
21. That is
you should
massive
know
for
that there's at least
Gladiators.
one other player hovering
That
around
might
this
be
area.
exactly
But
what they need to get
HBP,
themselves
again,
in more of a
this is
safer
soul
position, considering
scenario
this is their
right now
last day
where
of
on
play
that western
overall.
side.
But another
That's
thing
too
we have
much
to
to worry
dive
about.
into here
I think
is
for Alpha
Reject
7,
in
this is going to be a
particular,
very
because the
difficult push
position they
down from
had,
that
we were
northeast edge unless they
watching a
get
little bit of
circle
disagreement
ship
between
towards
you and
them, which
Max
they
in
do.
terms of
This is
what
a lot
Reject
easier
decided to
now
do.
for their
As Zone
side.
tried to
They
center
HBP
up
have to
on
continue
FaZe.
onwards. Their
So I
march
think
is
that
made
they were
a
trying to
little
make
bit more
the
difficult by the
game-winning play,
murky
right?
swamps
Like,
of
with
that
some of their
IA
moves.
position as
Once
well
they
as
start in
Reject.
trifecta, they had a 2-2 and they go to
difficult to get through
the
that. It might just
compound,
be a
which
case of
in
waiting
our
it out.
region we see
Matic
always as a
knows
focus
the
point
position
for some of
of
these
Godless,
circles
just
mid
waiting for him to
Sandhawk.
peek up
Now
for just a
they
little bit. He
realized
has
Alter
to
Ego's
move
coming
out
in
of this
behind them.
position.
They
So
made a
for
ridiculous blitz
HBP,
through.
should
It
be
was risky,
another
but they actually
secure
got a lot of points
elimination
from 8
unless
points
the
in
players
total.
from
That's
IA
by the
can
by.
pick this up away
Rejects here
from them.
from this point on tries
Almost might
to
try and
leave
take
this
the challenge,
compound and
maybe
go
just
north
look for a
towards
cheap
FaZe. I
little
think
knock.
they already
Smoke
took
is
one
there.
elimination off of FaZe, so they
You've got to imagine
knew
this
that they
draw
were
so close
weakened,
fairly soon.
or in a weakened state, but it was
can
very
swing
slow,
down
very
to the south side of the ridge
unsuccessful
line,
trying to breach
but then
the
they're
position
directly
of
challenging
FaZe here. So
Bigatron's
I like that
sidelines.
Rejects was trying a
Coming on
winning
through
move,
from
but
that
they realized at
southwest
least
side
they
of the
got high
circle.
up in this game, I
Bigatron
suppose.
been fairly
think that the
quiet
situation they
for
were
them
in
at the
with,
moment. They've
Ultra
been
Ego
playing
from the
near
Road Trifecta compound is
the
who
urban
wants to work
environment,
with Ultra Ego
near
and
those
extend that
buildings.
compound
It's
for as long as
very
possible
unlikely
to
the team's going to be
gatekeep other
rotating in
potential
behind
threats
them.
later on
They
down the
can
line.
just
If you
chill
stay there
out
with
for a
Ultra
minute.
Ego, you
They
eliminate
will need to figure out where to go
Galaxy,
from
Xavier,
here.
Duxan. You can also maybe
It is
eliminate some
so
players of Gladiators
difficult
as they
now
get pushed
to get
down
past
Boot
this
Camp Hill. And
position.
off the back of that,
Looking for
you can
Godless,
transition through
an
the
ideal
rocks and make
scenario.
over to FaZe. I
Pick up
think
that
that
elimination
was
and maybe think
the
where
better
to move
approach.
next.
But to be
I mean,
honest, the moment
crashing
Xavier
down
died
towards
right,
IA
guys, they could
spot,
play those rocks and
not the
survive
greatest
super
of
far to the match.
ideas.
So
They're heading
ended up
further down
working out,
towards
but I
the
think there
south.
was
There is
maybe another
warehouses
option
down
to
there.
go. But
Finally,
that's the cool thing. There's so many
goes
ways to
down
play
to
it that
Inko.
you don't know which
Very,
one
very
might
long
be the best
distance
in the
shot.
I mean, yeah, I get
Inko, by the way,
a symbiotic
is.
relationship.
That
in
early
that
rotation
compound
from
for a little
Inko
while.
still
The thing
very
I love
much
it is
paying
that
off.
they got third
It's
in this
working out
game,
yet
and would they
again.
have probably have got third
Team
if they'd
fifth
have
place
stayed in
right
that
now, it
compound
may
as
be
well?
certainly
Yeah, probably.
doing
But
wonders
would
for
they
their
have
table
got
stats,
first? Almost absolutely not.
Yeah, and they
So I
went
think
for a
that,
2-2 split
you know,
beginning
they were
as
trying
well.
to
I
go
mean, they
for it
lost
all,
a
and
player
obviously
to
it
get the
didn't pan
res up,
out.
but they
Yeah, and again, trying to make
two
those plays
positions
that are
around
really
the map.
important for them,
BPE
considering
tried to pick up
Reject
the
coming
other,
into
in
this
which
one
case they
from
immediately
Group
regroup
Green,
towards that
so they
northern
only
side.
have
So they're
5
securing
matches left to
positions
go. They have
within
to get as
the
many
map at the
points as
moment.
possible
Yes,
to
it's
make
not
sure
the
that
most
they
central
make the
position,
right
but
decisions,
it is somewhere to
as we
play
did
from.
look at
You have
a
teams like
drop as well
DRS,
between Mad
Titans,
Bulls and
BTR,
Inko.
all
And Mad
with
Bulls is a team
difficult
that it
decisions
really
ahead
doesn't
of them
matter for
trying to
them,
move
right? They're
downwards.
pretty much safe
I
into the
do
last chance for Inko,
respect
though.
the
At
hell
least them
out of
trying to scrape
A7's
by as
current
many points as possible. I
predicament
think they got
because they're
through the
up towards
eliminations.
this
They
northeast
realized,
side.
okay, well,
They've
this is
already
not going to
sent
work
2
out. Let's try
players
to
up
salvage playing
damage
with
was front
something,
men
but
for
they
them,
have to,
trying to
maybe
allow the
look
rest of
forward now
A7
to
to
the
get
next 5
through. They
matches.
send
Yeah,
up
you
in
don't
the
forget
vehicle.
the best
Slowly
part of
but
that
surely,
fight here,
they
Jason, just
have
roll coming
just
Sit
pulled
down.
each other towards this ridge
Just
side.
get rid of
One
one.
to cover
That was a
of
good bit.
each player.
That was a good bit right there. But yeah,
One
it's a
towards
hot
ridge
drop.
side
It
in
is
Creo,
normally Inco that
getting
would have to
Mythic
change
up
that
there
drop because
next,
Mad was,
and then
as you touched
allowing
upon,
the rest of the
Cloud, during
team
that
to
game
move to
already
them
so
with the
comfortable.
cover of
It
those
is
two
currently
players
in
in that
their
position.
fight
So
to
a
win
very,
currently
very
in that
slow,
position. If they win it, they're
tactical,
correct for the last
but
chance,
successful
and
push
Inco, they're
coming
just
through
going to
from
be
A7.
maybe completely
It's
out
likely,
of
though,
that
with this
position
ridge
from the
line right in
get-go.
front of
So,
them, giving
yeah,
them the
Inco,
majority of their
cool,
cover
it's
right
fair
now,
enough, there's
they're
only
going
one
to have to
of
fight
these
man
maps
fire
per day,
or choose to go for
but,
Inco
you might
instead.
wanna try
Yeah.
and think
So it
of,
is a squad fight
avoiding those as
in
much
the
as
very
possible
near
because it
future,
can
Blank.
really
Could be very,
impact
very
your
tricky.
result- your
Aegon
results
XA
over
and Reject have been
only
sharing
2
this
days
compound
worth
as
of
well
play.
on the
That is
western
such a small
side
amount of time
for a
that
long,
these
long
hot drops
time.
can really impact your position.
I mean, they both
Yeah,
just
it would
realized
be
that
even
it's a strong
especially
spot,
more huge
and it
if there
would
was
be
a more
unideal at
than
this
one
point in time with the
sandwich per
amount
day,
of
right?
low
But
ground
there's
and flat
very
grounds
little
around them
interesting
to
to
go
do
for a
now.
fight.
Your position
Very
when you've
easy
done as
third good
party on the cards for them. DRS.
One thing I do want to mention really quickly
behind
is
the
you said
guys
it
from
while we were
A7.
watching the
Rules
game,
gets
and I kind
there.
of really like the idea
Will
of
be
it.
dispatched.
We did see Artigo change the
I'm sure about that rotation. They knew Alpha 7 were up on that cliff side,
but then
and it was
when the
completely
zone
bare
started to shift
knuckle
away from
push.
Corey, more centralized, and they were
Just
on the
going
east
straight
side of
over
Corey,
towards it.
you were
Luckily, they do
talking
get
about
knocked
what do they
back over
do
their
here
way,
in this
but
position.
DRS
And
have
Cars, I
lost
want you
two
to
in the
bring that
process.
really quickly.
Two of their players going
Yeah,
down. He's
again,
only
they're
Gianti
playing
on the
really
Resis
risky
Delta,
PUBG Mobile.
still on this
Going
hillside.
for these wide rotates,
I think
going
the
up
one
against
that is really
Quarry,
resible
which
in
is
this
a very
scenario,
difficult
Alpha
place to
7.
transition away from. They have to bomb it
Unfortunately,
through to try and
losing
make something
Mafioso,
happen.
so they
If they'd have
are
come in from the
gonna be
north, it might have
nerfed
just
down
been an
to 3.
easier time. But yeah, they did
Falls,
all right.
they
But
pick up a
again,
point
very
for it, but
risky PUBG Mobile.
Don't want to be losing players
High
when that
risk,
squad fight is so
potentially high
close on
reward
the
for Artigo, who
doorstep.
desperately need every single point they possibly
Take
can in the final
an
5 matches.
opportunity
It's
to
time
pick
to
up some
head
big
into
points
our
here.
second
Very
match of the
central
day,
spot.
which is our first
Nice
air
high
deal
ground
of
to
the
play
day
around
with
with.
Jackie.
A lot of buildings to cover, to hold on to, but also a lot of
Erangel. This is good. This is always my favourite Porsche Blank because it feels like we start to get the more nuanced games right where we can kind of expect the more unexpected.
It's hard to
But this
push
lobby's
onto
already looking
vehicles,
kind of
which
wild,
will
so we'll see what we get,
really
Blank. We'll see what we get.
expose a lot of players coming up that way.
I
in
think
which case
the guys on this touch on a really
kind of
important point here
isolate
is that
and
for some of
consolidate
these
their
teams,
forces onto
you know,
one spot.
specifically what
DRS
Cars
moves
are really
up, and
interesting in the
A7
sense
so
that,
far
you know,
taking
Reject,
a
they
lot
go
of
for
damage
the
from them,
game-winning
despite
play at
getting
the
the
end of the day.
initial
And I think
not
you
over their
have to
side.
do that now. You
DRS
really
have had them
do
on
have to go
broadside
for
with
these
very
sort
little
of
cover for a
things,
long,
because
long time, and
honestly,
now Alpha 7 are
for Group
feeling
Green,
that
we know
punishment.
this is
That
their
pressure
last day
pushing
of
on
play
in.
to
Revo
get
takes the
into
challenge,
that
hits the
survival
drop shot
stage,
for one.
not be in the
Carrillo
bottom
wants
eight.
to try and keep the
And
squad
again,
alive
because
as it's
you are the
only
group
now
that's
him and
playing the
Revo
first 2
standing,
days
but
in a row,
only the
you don't
one
play
for
the last
DRS as
day.
well. Gianti
You don't
falls
really
back,
know
regroups
what
with a
mark
nade coming
you're
over the
aiming
top.
for,
That's a Molotov
right?
to slow
You
things
don't
down,
know
and
where
a nade
that
sent back
bullseye
their way. I
lies
think that's coming in from
because
Inco
no one
across the
is
way,
on
or
that
even
top, that
Vampire
16th
just over that
position
ridge
where
line.
it's
The
just
res gets
fixed,
off
and you
for
can think to
Gianti.
yourself, we
Revo
only
stays
need to
alive
get
as
this
well.
amount of
Now
points to
can
get
Carrillo
in. So you
find
have
what
to
he's looking
push it
for?
to the
Can he
max
get that knock?
every
Because they're
single
all
game.
grouped up.
And I
Vampire
think
as well
that some
could
teams are
find it.
realizing,
If
I
they
would
launch
say
the nade in the right
too
direction,
late at this
Vampire
point,
just slowing this fight
Green,
down, making
that
it
they
so hard,
have
lines
to
them up.
go
It's
for
the
these
deck,
game-winning
cannot
moves.
stay exposed for too
That
long.
to come
And it's
from
Inco
yesterday,
to take shots over
absolutely
towards
had to come from
DRS as
yesterday.
well.
I think
Look at
Marvel's
the
took
fire
their
coming
fate
in
into their
over
own
the
hands
heads
very
of Alpha
quickly,
7,
as did
suppressing
Influence
DRS.
Rage, who
And there's the
more
nade
than
they were looking
secured their
for.
position over
Revo
towards
takes down
the last
DRS.
chance
Now they
phase.
can turn
At
their
this point,
attention
I
to
think they have
Inco.
77
The
points.
second
something
place team
ridiculous
going
at
head
this
to
point in
head with
time.
A7 at
So
the moment.
I think
Let's get
some of these
dispatched.
teams, maybe it's
A really good
coming through too
regroup, and
late.
this is where now
You need
Bacon
a
Town
little
have
bit
to
of luck
consolidate. The
today.
hill that was
You
talked
need
about, the
to
Titans
really
have to
hit your
push up
shots.
towards.
You need to be making
They're
strong
one of the four-man
rotations,
teams in the lobby.
and
This is a push they can
just
make.
maybe
It's a
able
little
to
bit
bump those
difficult, but they
points
are
up
held
just
short
enough. I
here.
think for
Sending
Quest,
smokes up
that
towards that top
instant
side as well as
elimination at
nades
the
to
start
clear
of
out
the
the
day down
positions close
Sandhawk
by. In the
versus a
meantime,
team
HUB
that
taking
most
shots
people
down
regard
towards
as not the
BTR,
greatest
trying to
Sandhawk
close out
team,
this
will
rotation down
really knock
towards the
their confidence
southwest
in a big
and
way.
open up a spot for them
We
to
know
move in.
Quest made it
Would
in by the
not
skin of their
found
teeth.
at the
Literally
moment,
1
and
point
BTR
in
in
Group
dire
Green to get
straits
towards
at the
that
moment
survival
with
stage.
no real
I
space to
don't
move
know
through.
if that sort of play style is going to cut it here, where a lot of teams
over that
were
ridge
starting
line
to
that
cut
they've been
down.
given. They know where
past the
BTR now,
teams
but
that,
Max moving
you know,
slowly,
didn't
speeds
get
up a little
past
bit
the
as soon as
first
those
group
bullets start to
stage. And now
land.
in survival
Zuxi
stage
traded
now,
off
we
as
have a lot
Tixie's
of
on the
really, really
ball.
strong teams.
Liquid
They
looking for
won't
answering shots, but
just sit
Tixie does
down
get
and
knocked
die
in
like
the
Tian, but
process. They cannot afford to lose
It's
another
not
player
going
here
to
if
be
they want to have a
anywhere
big game.
near
Black
as,
Tixie will
as
need to be
easy
res.
or as
Kitsune
fine
right
of
nearby,
a
but
margin. I
Tixie
think
caught
that's the
out
other
the
part
smoke
as well,
covering
is
off the
the fact
answering
that
spray
with
from
1
Max.
point of
Keep
difference,
their
I
heads
imagine
down,
it's
and
gonna be a little bit more of a
Bigatron not going to
stark
fall just
contrast
yet.
here,
Oh,
whatever
just
the match is.
about. Going to survive behind that. The vehicle does
That
go
would have
up,
been
but the
huge,
reses
man.
are starting to
Full
come
John
through for
Rambo
Bigatron.
action
They're
start
keeping
off
themselves
today,
alive.
but not
And
going
the
to
circle moves away.
They
They'll
will try
have to
and
go
instigate
further.
the fight, though,
40
onto
seconds,
the least
that
as
will
best
shrink.
as possible. Whilst they know they're
Very
a bit
difficult push here for
fragmented
Bigatron.
over
The
in
major thing
Alliance
that's keeping them in this one is
territory,
having
so he's
4
gonna go
players
breezing
alive.
off and
They've got a
Poser
odd
will join
squad
the
members
rest.
to really take these
Squad
angles off of
group
them.
up
Matic,
and
though,
see
hitting
what
some
they can
nasty
get done.
shots. A great
But
headshot
it is
down
very,
the way, really
I don't
putting
know,
the
it's
hurt
quite
down
curious
towards
way
Big
to
and
start
Sean,
off the day,
and they're
really, in terms of
hesitating.
some of the
A
teams
foot
that
is
we saw playing
exposed,
well.
and
It was a bit
Matic
more
tries to take some more
unexpected for me.
shots.
After what we saw
Eking
from
either
Gladiators,
way of which, but that
it was
will
kind
be
of
them
starting to shift
over.
into that, you know, you don't
Finally
believe in the
bringing a
Gladiators
third.
camp, but as soon as it feels like you hit that point on the
Knocking into the
meter,
mix works
that's
out
when
for
they
the
bounce
Matic,
back. I think
able
they
to
do it just to like spite
final
everyone.
shot spots misery.
Yeah.
249 to try and
They
suppress
do.
that ridge line.
They do,
HVBP,
man. They really want to kind of like
they're gonna
rope
have
you
to
into
move
the
first,
idea that
probably,
it's not
out
going
of
to
the teams to
happen.
their northern side
And then, yeah,
after
they
they've
make all
dealt
the
with
fans
Big and
book
Sean.
their tickets last minute
Still have
to
cover
the
to work with, though,
finals.
moving off
That's how
towards
that
that
always
east.
goes.
10
But
teams
we'll see if they
remaining.
can
Gemboss
maintain
is
pace.
stepped
It
up
was
for
a
a
good
second,
game
but
from them.
instantly
But it's
answered
a key
by
point
the
you
guys
hit
from
on as well. I think it's
HVP.
quite
Damage sent
interesting
over
in the
towards Duxie in
sense
the
that
back. And
the
realistically,
best they can do
this
now
team
is try and repeat that
coming
as
through
much as
very
possible
strong
today,
with the
because
mini
obviously they've
14s with
left
DMRs.
themselves
It's a very
with no
individual
other chances
and
to
unique
accumulate
playstyle coming
points. So
through
if
from
you're
them.
leaving it up to another
Subsea
team
goes
to
down,
decide your
HB up
fate,
to
that's
5
the rough
eliminations
part.
so far, make that 6.
Losing Alva
As
off
Matic
the
actually
back as
takes
well.
down
And I think
players
this
coming
is
through from
something that's
Aegon
happened a few
IA, in
times
fact.
now, coming
Very,
through
very nice. Aegon
from the
XIA
boys
tried
on
to
the squad.
third party onto
And I
this
think that
engagement,
when
and
you
they're being
look at
turned away at the
this,
door. 10 eliminations for
Alter Ego
HVVP. What the hell just happened?
maybe
Did they wipe out
drop
Aegon XIA?
trash
I think they did.
around
They didn't even take a
Mansion.
knock over
Don't
their
go for
way
this
either.
2-2
Now
split
Reject have
between
taken
the
that
Popka
opportunity to
as well
leave,
as
to move
Mansion
forwards.
itself. It's not
HVVP
worth
crunching
it.
on in.
The amount of
Everybody's
teams
popping
that
off
saw
now.
you
Making time,
yesterday
2 players
get
down.
trounced by
Right
other
in that
squads.
central
Of
position,
course,
high ground compound, very, very
NBE
valuable.
Sports is going to come
Titans
down
have
here
the
and
numbers
start to take
advantage.
some pot shots
Vampire
towards
rolling
you.
on
One
up
of
in
those
the
come in
northern
with
side.
viewers,
And look at
like
the
to
teams
clean
that are
this one
starting
up.
to
The
fall
best
blank.
Rose
The
we can
teams
do,
going
send
down
out
and the
some
teams
smokes,
above
try and hit
HVVP.
a couple
12
of
eliminations
shots
on the
over
game
with
right
the
now.
DP,
And Squash,
but
last
I
player
don't
standing
know.
for Inco to remove potentially another player
This
from the
is
teams above them.
looking
Titan from the
pretty
south side,
raw.
their only real
It's
competition
like
here
uncut
now.
beef at this point blank.
And
It
what
is
a
not what you want,
bloodbath on
mate.
this northern side.
One by one,
Finally,
just getting
HVVP
finished
turn
off
up
a
the
little
heat.
bit here
They
for
make it
this
work and they're
game.
turning their attention to
They've had
Reject.
such a rough
13
couple
eliminations.
days in
Vampire
terms of
looking
their
across the
opening
ridge.
drops.
Inco down.
And, again,
And
you know,
yet
it
4
does really
teams
feel
fall
like
ahead of them.
everyone sort of passed the
This
word
is
around that
cataclysmic
Alter Ego
performance
is the
coming through
easier
from
team to bully on
HVVP.
these
And they
drops,
just
blank.
ruined
It
a
just
lot of
keeps
these other
happening.
squads' chances.
I mean,
They have
you
that
make yourself
position.
an easy
IA crashed
target,
directly
and
on
teams
top of
will
them. Remember,
want
they had
those
4
points off
players,
you.
and
You
HVB
don't
sent
make
them
those
packing.
adjustments,
And now they have great sight lines over to everyone in this area of the map who are all
Very
squashed into a
astutely
Max
tiny
update.
space,
Max
have to
update,
fight off
little-
against one
from
another.
the
Sure,
Max
there's
mansion
really
itself.
not much cover whatsoever
You know,
for
Nick
the guys
McGuinness
from
usually dropping
HVB with them
towards
making this
Pachinki.
happen.
The
Would have got a nice
Xavier
little
over
bit
in
of a
Group
resupply
Green
on Aegon IA before they had to move forward a little bit more.
Pachinki whatsoever. They
These
kept
DMRs,
dropping
the
there
M4s
every
working out
single
very well for
time,
HVB on these
even on
long-range
hot
fights,
drops.
these
But this
long-range
time around they
engagements
drop
where
over towards Severny.
some of these people in the lobby, they're prioritizing having the DPSs, having the UMPs over the DMRs themselves, but a few nasty little headshots coming from the guys from Matic, as well as Sune, disgusting stuff.
You drop towards
gonna have to
Pachinki
leave this
versus
position,
Nick
though,
McGuinness. You know this is a strong team, but right now you're currently
hits
third
the
place,
branches. They're
53
getting cover from
points.
it. Reject looks for the spray to light it up, and
Can be
Matic goes down.
afforded now.
Vampire
So
are taking their
Severny
turn as
drop
well.
for DXAV
At the
when
batting
it's
post,
open,
but with 13 eliminations, if they could just
completely reasonable, I would say,
survive
to
long
go
enough,
for this team.
they
know
have
they
done
can get
so
further
much
into
to
the
put a
map.
dent in
They
that
know
gap,
they're
and the
strong
teams ahead of
holding
them.
in that mid game,
Falling
and
like
then trying
flies,
to
they
take
can
out
already now
teams
take
towards that
C.
late game as well.
Laid
A little bit of
low,
sweeping
and
from
now
the high
just
ground.
one player.
So I
The
think this is a really
IGL
good move
Kitsune
from
for
DXAV.
HVVP
And
stays
again, kind of
alive.
feeds into that
I think he
storyline.
might
Is if
just
you
be in
made
the next
those
circle,
points happen in that
which
first
teams
day,
can
you
survive
have a
the
lot of
oncoming
room to switch
onslaught.
up tactics, to switch up
Realistically,
strategies. You know, if this was the
HVP
case
should
of
have gone
DXAV,
down
would be on like
10 minutes ago. It was such a
points.
difficult
they might
push for
consider
them.
dropping
They
over
have
towards
hardly
Pachinki
anything
and
to
just
work
trying to
with.
push
The
it to
fact
the
they've
limit
got
down
this far
there
with this
versus
amount of
Nick
eliminations
McGuinness
is
trying to
absolutely
win out on that hot
gargantuan
drop
for their
and
side,
then going
towards
out
6th
from there,
place
'cause those
now.
4
But like you say, they
eliminations
just
would
need
be
to
very
survive
nice,
a little bit
and you
longer.
can't
Besiktas
really
and a single
fear
player,
that
Reject
fact
down
of,
to
what if
2.
we lose
There
the
is a
hot
high
drop? You
chance
just
that
have
both
to
these
go and
teams
think
go
to
out
yourself,
fairly
we're going to win
soon
this hot
with
drop.
VP
We'll move
understanding
from
they
there,
have to
we'll take
move
that
out this
central
way
position, do
too.
some really good rotation.
We're on knife zone, and this will just pull
Everyone
further
else
in.
this lobby is just going to get
Time
trounced by us.
suffering. They
You
need a
just
big game
have
here.
to
Blank
think
Vampire
that you're a
making
much
time 2 teams
larger
that you would have
team than you
expected
actually are.
to be in those top 5 at the
You've
start
got
of
to embody the stature,
the last
right?
chance
Make
phase,
it,
but right now,
look like it's hard for you
death's
to
door
fit
on their
through
tournament.
doorways, that kind of
5
stuff.
eliminations
Build
for
the
Vampire,
confidence
4
up
players
by
alive. It's good
making
for them,
yourself
but
feel
Vacant
bigger
Time
than you
suffering
are.
a little bit
And that
heavily.
was what they did.
As
I mean, even
Titan
back
roll
in
on
Group
up into
Green,
the
right?
door.
It was kind of them versus
HVVP
Bra. It was just
eliminated
like
6th
the
place,
battle
13 eliminations.
of
It's a
Pachinki
whole
every
load of
single
points for them.
time,
They'll be
right?
happy with
And
that.
DX
And Titan
were willing
roll
to
on
fight
through.
those down
It's
to the
breakfast.
bitter end, you know,
As
limping
Bacon
away
Time
with one one player left
Chowed
if
down
they
on by
needed to,
Titans.
or even conceding basically an entire
So
run.
2 players
on
active,
one
all
of our
silence
games
there,
with
but
Berenguer
they are
just
just
to
going to get
guarantee
torn
that
through.
drop.
Titans
So
move
I
on
like the
in.
fact
3
that
players
they've
alive for
moved away
Titans,
from
but
that
4 for
here and kind of
Vampire,
thought,
and they're
alright,
looking to
we
turn
really
it up.
did
Titans
risk
getting
it, you know,
cut out
back
as well.
then.
Pieces
Now it's a
low
little
for
bit of a
Besiktas, but they
different
make it
kettle of
into top
fish.
3
Let's
as
not go
Reject
for
now with a
those sort
duo.
of plays. So
Vampire
good
with
to see
4,
the
they've been holding
improvement
behind
there
this
and the
ridgeline for so
adjustment
long,
as well
but
to
now
be
they're going to
willing to
move
even
on
give
out.
up
They
your
execute
normal
on their final
confident
strategy,
drop.
their end game,
Man,
and
drop
11
is a word that is
eliminations so
synonymous
far,
with Alter
racking
Ego
it
at
on
the
up.
minute, though, is
And
every
Peace,
time we
the
look
last
towards the
player to
Elim
stand
feed, it
in
feels
their
like
way
it's
will be
Rosemary
bringing in
that's
that
just
12
taking
point for
bullets
them,
from
and a
miles
chicken
away.
dinner for
It's so
Vampire.
unfortunate
You
for
can
AE
see
for
the
the way these games
elation
have been going,
in
but
this squad.
again here
From the
they're just
bottom of the
exposed. You've
tables,
got a line of
a
sight.
necessary time to
MBE
stand
just keep
up.
putting the pressure on. them, like,
100%. I mean, like,
Yeah, I
there
think
is
for
only
Alter Ego at this
so
point in time,
long
it's
that you
just
could
not
stumble
looking good, right?
before
I
you
think we
either
said this
fall
multiple times
down
at this
or
point. There
find your
has to be a
footing.
change coming today.
VPE
Klaus
have
gave
found
some
it
really
here
good
on
points
that
with some
game
very
of
risky
Miramar. 4
rotation.
players still
I think
alive.
this one
This is
particularly was a
much
risky
more the
drop as
standard
well.
type of playstyle we see
I think
from
you can go for risky
VPE,
drops
getting
where
back
they
in towards the
provide you
mix.
a bit more
Sweat
of
putting
an
up a
idea
big
of actually
performance,
getting
which is
further
not
into the
happening
game.
in a
But
little
when
while,
you're dropping
whereas
over
we kind of
towards
expected
Mansion
from
and
this
then
guy
split
being one of the
dropping
best
Lopov
players
as
on the
well, and you know
squad.
that Procedure
I am
dropped towards
pleased with that
Naya,
result coming from
MBE
VPE.
Sports
They
drop
took
around
that
this
central
location as
position,
well.
and you know what's
You're
really
sort of
interesting
playing
about it
with
is the
fire
fact
at
that
that point in
HVP, if it
time,
moves
you know,
over towards that
there is
northwestern
just an
side, they hold on that
opportunity
ridge,
to, look,
they
give
dominate
up
from
on
that
the
ridge. But
scouting
we
early
saw
on. We
VPE
have
get
a
a
very
very
good
good
read on
result
where most
from the
teams
exact same
moving
position they
from.
took
Just
yesterday,
from watching a
moved
lot
further
of the other
towards
games
the
that
east,
have happened
and
throughout the
VPE are
group
able to
stage, let's just go
translate
for a
from that spot. So
four-man push
very
over
well done
towards
to
the
Vampire
Popka.
there.
We'll split
Most
out,
players
we'll try
getting a
and
very
sweep up towards the top
even
side of Komechi
result
and
of
move down
damage
from
and
there.
eliminations
There's a
and
lot of
knocks.
good
So a
little pit
great
stops
game
along the way
overall
on
for
that side of the
VPE.
map.
But
So
is it
for
enough at this
Ulterigo,
point?
again, a risky drop, which I don't think was particularly necessary here. The Xavier, kind of expected from them, move up towards north side, take the high ground control, play off the back of that one.
HVVP,
So I like this
13
from the
eliminations
Xavier.
on the game.
Mad
A
Bulls
lot of
also
teams ahead of
find
them going
themselves
down
on the
early,
northern side
pushing up for
of
that fifth place
Naya.
bubble,
Very nice
pushing
little
up to
quick
be
rotate
in that
from them.
PMGC finals
Very
because
hard
Blank,
shift over towards the eastern
did
side,
this
encompassing a lot of water
them
in this
to be
one
able
as well.
to
So
stay
teams
alive
might
in this
get their
tournament. You
feet
expect
wet.
them to be
They
going
can.
there.
wanna live
They
out this
expect
game
it
a
of
little bit
themselves.
longer.
And
But
both
for
of those
most
two
teams,
rosters
it's going to be either trying
putting
to
in the
sweep
ship.
on this northern side or trying to hold towards some of these compounds on the edge. It's a difficult position to play in. Some teams will be forging some great spots early on if they're able to get here quick enough, but some teams on this outer edge will be struggling to find themselves a home.
Yeah, this is one that's setting up to potentially be a bit of a community swimming pool circle if it keeps up like this. About 40% water at the minute, so land mass really going to be important to lay claim to early. Try and set yourself up as quick as physically possible. Don't leave it up to another squad who've already claimed all of the compounds. The mass migrations are coming through. You can see everyone starting to make their rotate down towards the zone, trying to get there as quick as physically possible. Bit of contact on some of the players that are playing slightly more defensive as well inside of the compounds, just listening out for where everyone's heading. Mad Bulls.
See what that win meant to Vampire Esports here, getting them back in the running for top 5, potentially keep that door open to get into the PUBGC Grand Finals. 27 points here picked up for the
straight
team.
onto the head of OCI.
Fantastic performance, but honestly, there was,
in
like we were saying before, Max, when we were watching the match, there was just so much happening. HVP as well, having a slaughter in that last match in the matter of about 7 seconds.
And we were talking about it during that game, Jason, before Vampire Esports, if they want to be able to catch up, they need a chicken dinner with like, no, at least 10 eliminations. They a little bit outdo that, 27 points on the game, and this just gives them, I think, a glimmer of hope they desperately needed, because things were looking so grim for them before this match, but those mini 14 fight stands, which is amazing from Flugep and Stone, like, these guys are on point, and of course, Schweppes is just always going to pop off.
Yeah, it wasn't just that, by the way. It was also the fact that a lot of the teams in the middle of the leaderboard are also getting eliminated. Teams from the bottom are performing, so now it's going to be very, very close. But Matic and what he did to IA, what he did to Reject, what he did to this entire lobby this game, even holding on to or closing on BTR, not allowing him to move for such a long time. So much damage from him, so many elims. Very great game for HVVP, but if I'm being honest, this is the second time that we're seeing them on Miramar get gifted the first, second kind of zone. A lot of pressure is alleviated from their shoulders, so I want to see them perform like you mentioned before, Maxman. I want to see them perform the same way Inco would if they weren't gifted the zone. Where is that performance from HVVP?
I do have to agree, but in general, I think that this is them willing to be just a little bit quicker on their rotations, even in zones where they're very familiar with, and I think that that's just a great change to what we saw from them yesterday. And man, they eliminated, there you go, two teams in a matter of like 10 seconds. Like they just flipped the switch in that game and just went super aggressive. So good from HVP. We'll see if they can keep it up in the next match.
Well, you know what, Maxman, I'm going to flip the switch here and send us to a quick break. We'll get things ready to go for a third match of the day.
Yeah, and they won't be leaving anytime soon, so you're not getting that middle space. I'm sorry about that. In the meantime, we do get Circle that moves down towards that south side, in which case Reject and Udo Alliance's compounds become very, very valuable indeed. So for Udo Alliance, currently they do have the strongest spot, which is up on high. Reject slightly safer in terms of the fact that they can just sort of sit in this compound for a while. You know that Udo Alliance, with them being in this compound, they're not likely to move anytime soon, so they don't want to expend too many grenades just sending them down over towards Reject. So Reject have this outpost which is guarded by Udo Alliance. Eventually they are likely going to have to fight against one another, but both teams in sort of mutual agreement at the moment.
Leaves as well. Getting a nice shot across onto Freak and dropping the man. It's the situation still just going from bad to worse, second after second, constantly taking damage and feeling uncomfortable, just playing out in the open, exposed to the elements at this point. And Jet Tokyo firing off the warning shots. FaZe on the move as well. Round the side of the ridge, contact from inside of the building.
Welcome back, everyone. As again, we finished off our second match of the day, but we still have 4 to come, but only 4 matches left to go.
Back with a couple of smokes as well, at least provide some protection.
We'll be going through into the PUBGC Grand Finals where other teams are already waiting
to engage on this one. If he can hit the shots with such a substantial drop, battle back as well. FaZe constantly just taking damage from either side now.
Sonic Spirit 1.0 Experience stream, which was made in collaboration with professional esports players. You can get 90 hertz in PUBG Mobile.
If they can't find a way to calm this one down.
And multiple
Hyper has got so many angles on it. GK first
I learned yesterday not to throw that over to Max and Sandstorm because they don't remember the last word for some reason. But one thing they do remember is how awesome Prime Gaming is. You get exclusive in-game free PUBG items as well as additional content beyond that.
And again, GK first comes in with another clutch shot over towards Mela, in which case they might just send towards us. The blue is pushing them in, and an opening knock like that is
I thought he came with it, with the deal, but that's fine.
Let's take a look at our overalls. Let's see where we're currently standing here. Alpha 7 going to be in first place at 103 points. And we have seen Titan move up to third, but there hasn't been a shift at the moment in our top 5. However, HVVP, Vampire Esports, Game Lord, they're coming. Problem was Game Lord got 0 points in the last game.
Oh Lord, they're coming. It's Vampire Esports. Vampire started off the day in 5th position right now, so now in 7th position, just at the door of making it potentially that top 5 position. One other just even average game would be enough, but we know the competition towards the top is just so tough right now. The teams are taking down one another. He's so positioned to be in, but at the bottom, it's looking a bit grim.
Not a lot of support coming through.
It is looking grim at the very bottom for Bacon, Egon IA, and for Enigma Galaxy, but for Damwon Kia, it is about
quick movements all around the block for Hyper. But this has been a sort of a crazy push
10 point difference from them and 5th place. But realistically, 5th and 6th place, I think, are the one, or 5th and 4th place, are the ones that are going to be open to, let's say, competition or contest right now for the top 5 spots. Alpha, DRS, I'm not sure anyone's going to be able to take their spots away with only 4 games left to go. And the way that Alpha's been looking, and the way that DRS has been playing, very passive early on, just making sure to survive into the later stages of the game. It's going to be very interesting to see these last games for sure.
I didn't like that
you have to imagine that if you're the likes of one of those two teams, you just don't even care about playing super aggressive, you don't care about winning matches, all you care about is just surviving to the late game, right? Try to get as many points built up
it really does feel like they kind of both dragged
no one should be catching
you know, with no potential really successful outcome for either team in that situation. Very aggressive, very tunnel vision.
A little bit of a cop-out answer, but you know what, I gotta respect it.
I feel like if I pick any team outside the top 5 right now, I'm just going to bring bad luck to them right now. I've done it for BTR, I've done it for Game Lord, it's got to end right now.
I guess FaZe were in fact just a present for Gladiators blank, because they've given them one additional point there, and given us
looking over towards you though, Sandstorm, again 2 teams at top 5 at the moment, and HVVP top
HVVP, because I want to see them perform again without the zone giving them a huge advantage at the very beginning, and especially when we're looking towards Sandhawk.
Change the gears.
These guys need to perform a little bit better. And when I'm looking towards the rest of the team's Titan, just consistency is there for them towards the end of day 1 and slowly getting themselves in those top 4, top 5 positions multiple times. So pretty good for Titan. And DRS, keep up that passive play in the early stages of the game. Get yourself as a nice cozy position towards the end, and you should be perfectly fine and ready for the grand finals.
But you look
well,
at
I have read the script here. I have learned that HVP will get a Northwestern Island zone. Let's see if it's going to work out for him, though, as we head over to our commentators and kick off the third match.
Just because this is providing the most amount of cover, there is so much open ground to traverse through if you're coming up from this northern edge. So
after this game,
Gladiators got a bit of a weird rotation to make here. Gladiators could take the fight here versus Procedure Evo and potentially move off from the back of it. There's going to have to be some good nades.
Been able to hear me as I was saying that. You guys on stream will have been able to hear it Bro was talking about after this game.
Engaging with the
nades
early, looking for the jump down. He was ready for that one, Blank.
Cut off from the top 5 bubble spots.
And we'll leave him quite
That is correct, John. Thank you for consolidating that into a nice, concise point for me to understand and then reply to, which I will do right now.
To get involved with this fight where
100% going to be
possible.
seeing some of these
Scanning
teams
the hillside with his eyes and keeping a nice understanding of the situation. Meanwhile, here we see MBE starting to dive in and
it's going to be very
inside the compound. Bullet after bullet, whizzing close by. Natsa now re-aggressing as well, looking to try and push their way back through. Spam up close. This boy needs to land an uppercut. Not looking too good for him though. He'll go down to the spray. How on earth is he still alive with a trickle of HP, Blank? It felt like he was trying to 1v4 that with nothing to his name.
I mean, Xenox did an incredible job there, but his Quest coming in over towards Reject. They're holding on as best they can, and the crash is just not working out. Luther immediately gets inside. They want to keep hold of all 4 members here. They know they've got a strong position to be working with.
They do need a little bit more. However, so far, I've been struggling to find that golden kind of
Finally, it's over as Tixie will pick up an elimination over towards Vahidan. But 6 eliminations for Gladiators. Once again, a pretty decent result for this squad. They'll have to push on through, potentially third-partying down towards this position on Reject. Could be a good idea, but even Maku still putting on the nerve versus himself. Holding on whilst Kitsune scouts towards the western side of the circle. This is far, far better for Gladiators so far. You can tell the teamwork is here. Yesterday, they just felt so disjointed.
But they're just fighting as well. Like, I think that's the one big difference. The idea being to get elims, whereas yesterday it felt a bit timid. It felt like they were playing inside of a box and kind of waiting for teams to come towards them. So I'm glad to see it. Definitely a much needed facelift for Gladiators, looking a lot more like the side that we like to see, at least. A lot of movement going on now as well. Bit of reshuffling. There's a ton of commotion down here. So everyone's kind of ringing the proverbial dinner bell, if you will. And it started to bait in the rotators, the mandem that want to pull up and try and squirrel away some of the points. So let's see if that'll be a potential outcome here. Roadside shenanigans for NBE. Meanwhile, Melise engaging on Origo. That was big, Blank. Nice nade to open it up.
Yeah, an absolute chunky nade as well. Kisyu looks for another, sends it in, but Origo is tucked away just for the time being. Smoke's been dropped down by Melise Esports. They don't want to get caught off on the side here. In the meantime, Becker on his lonesome trying to take down the rest of DX Xavier. Does find at least Levi's here, which is fairly impressive indeed. CEO later off in the wings, looking to see if he could spot any of the players here in Lipovka. Alter Ego, they drop in Lipovka itself. This is where they've resided for a very, very long time now, looking to potentially get a little bit more out of it. But Melise have them surrounded. Reject once again, surviving their position, will have to move forward. They know that UDO Alliance are behind them.
UDO, what can they do in a spot like this, playing on a hillside? Flax adjusting the crosshair, paranoid about the smoke expiring to his left, but wants to prioritize the correct angle, hoping they can get some shots off onto Reject. Once they expose themselves, they've got a three-pronged smoke wall blocking themselves at the minute, with the tree geometry providing a bit of cover as well. Slowly pushing their way up past the bushes now, as Lufa will jump in the rotate car. Oh, should have got info on that as well as he drove up. Seems like he knows he could be peeked from the ridge side. So we'll smoke that off and try and cover himself. Clark's up top, Blank. Man's got the DMR as well to work with potentially here. Seems like it's the shotgun also. Nice little DBS for close range engagements. And nades to boot. That could be a bit of a banger. Seems like it should be on target, but slightly off the mark.
Yeah, you really need an airburst here, but a nice shot comes through, and I think that's from MBE Sports actually over towards UDO Alliance. The Gladiators continue to lose members. Squash finally does go down off in the distance. And the circle does center up and confirm up towards Lipovka. So any team that made that decision early is happy about it. But look at this. UDO Alliance is losing members left and right, but the drop shot will at least keep them alive for a little bit longer. But the drop shot just ends up with them being dropped themselves. UDO Alliance out and Reject up to 5 eliminations. A very different face on this team, looking more Oni-esque today. Demonic coming through from Reject.
This is more what we wanted, right? You're raising hell a little bit now. They're getting stuck into the game blank, not playing as timid, fighting when necessary, trying to play towards center, contesting for edge control when needed. It's better from Reject, but they've got to maintain that, keep that course going. Don't let it drop off now, as they do at least find their way through the test of Udo and control that one. NBE keep popping up all over the shop. It feels like NBE have just been running back and forth, trying to stay alive from this roadside, having little moments of chip damage onto anyone that peeks into them. They're still here for now, just in front of Rejects. They're exposed if they go for a bit of a push. They're just using the smokes to hold themselves for now, but Zara is engaging with it. It's a nice first nade. Got the lineup on the second as well, Blank. The nades alone could be enough to deal with them.
Man, the long arm on Sarah is looking good, but nasty shots coming in from Nakaze through the smoke, takes down a fair few of them. Now Duello left to challenge versus Nakaze off in the distance. Nice shot on the edge, but quickly cleans them all up. And what a clean finish there from Nakaze at the end. It looked like it was all done and dusted for the squad, but fantastically well held out by Nakaze. Gladiator's still at 4 players alive, but one of the final teams to be on this northern edge alongside them and NBE Sports. Mad Bulls up to 5 eliminations. Gladiators up to 8. They're doing good here. You asked about a bit of a repeat. We even heard about the dinner bell, and so far Gladiators have been hitting us with some nice mashed rotators at the moment. These rotates have been clean.
Whatever they're cooking up today, Blank, it looks like it is fresh, not frozen. Nothing being reused here. Ooh, turning up the heat, though, as the kitchen metaphor continues. Have to get out of that one. Melise set ablaze, couldn't handle it. Kiss You dropped, as the M4 will give him the damage. Business being done. Mad Bulls close by as well. They can start to breach and clear. Take the players out that are inside of these buildings now, but Frozen crumbles. He cracks under the pressure on the contact, and it's all getting a little bit sheepish. Constant damage being fired out by Gladiators, sure, but no one wanting to make the first mistake. You have such a sheer number of squads all close, shoulder to shoulder inside of these compounds, with only Gladiators being able to complete the push down towards the beach side. They're in a pretty dream spot right now, and it's going to be so much harder for this heat map of teams we can see all on top of each other inside of the neighborhood. A nasty neighborhood, Blank. They're not friendly neighbors.
Not at all. Everyone's just leaving some horrid messages on one another's doors right now. People just aren't picking up the newspaper. They're turning the Amazon delivery guy away. They will not be handing that through the post box to their next door neighbor at all. But for Gladiators, what an incredible circle for them. Moves up towards this north side, and they've had direct contact with a lot of these teams on the southern edge. What's great about this rotate from Gladiators as well is that they forced out the Mad Bulls from this position just with sheer firepower. Up to 9 eliminations, set 50 points after the back of this game, just around about 18 points behind Mad Bulls, who we know had a great day yesterday. This has been very, very good stuff from the Gladiators, and again, it's that pressure off in that first game that allows you to succeed later on. They're moving in over towards NBE Sports. Sec, barely any HP. The vehicle flies over the top, and Tixie's there on a Kaze. He's quickly put down, and NBE Sports is out. Oh my goodness me, Gladiators are fighting.
What are we watching, Blank? Is this a Michael Bay movie? Because that was a blockbuster. They come flying through the air, hit the griddy on that one as the shot connects mid-movement, and then they just continue on as well. This is ridiculous. Meku and Kitsune just putting bullets down range, Blank. They are farming.
This was a great move from Meku as well, mate. They left him behind on the side swipe just in case anyone was between the trees. Likely Meku's going to be a sacrifice in this situation, but he's got great lines of sight over towards Duxan, providing very, very difficult terrain for Duxan to deal with. They step out of the way of the bullets from Kitsune as well as Tixie and Matic. They step directly into the bullets from Meku, who's very much safe on this outer edge. Luckily, Zipian is able to get some shots back over towards Kitsune, but it's just Meku and Tixie lighting them up.
They're the Hydra right now, Blank. It feels like if you sever one head, 2 more will grow back in its place. That's what Gladiators are doing right now. A single knock results in them finding 2 elims, or the elims could keep on coming as well, but maybe it'll go in favor of Mad Balls as Alter Ego wanted to try an ego challenge, but they go down quick. They've got cinder block shoes on that one as Melise third party and Mad Balls hold on to their compound. Gladiators, though, still showing that they're handy with the sharpened steel, slicing their way through anyone that peeks into them. Now just pushing up the road to close down these and make sure these eliminations are theirs for good, Blank.
Yeah, Tixie flies over towards that position, has the M4 in hand. Lovely nade over the top as well. Finds Hoxie. Now just Binny in the back here. Another nade flies over the top. Nice little Molotov. Will shoot underneath the vehicle. Has eyes on. Just needs to hit these shots now, but is sort of being cut off by the fire, by the smoke. Stands up to try and hit this one. The step out is there and Tixie gets taken down. Meku left remaining for the squad, but honestly, with the amount of damage the Gladiators been able to do, they've just been looking for those eliminations. We talked about this early on as well, Jackie, in the sense that eliminations desperately what you need. This is what you can confirm in these games. This is what you know you can handle, and I appreciate that they're just fighting for them.
Exactly. It's the one part that you can control just by playing aggressive, playing confidently, and guaranteeing those eliminations. And that's what they've done. They've played for the elims here. Now they can try and see what they can squeeze out in terms of placement, because the other teams are doing the infighting for them. And it's whittled us down to only 2 players, really, you've got to worry about. Oh, man. Mad Balls licking their lips at the prospect of this one. They do find Meku. He's exposed himself from behind the rock. Now it's simple pickings. As long as Mad Balls could reset, you do have an edge. The battle of attrition is in your camp. They're setting themselves up for a chicken dinner, but Zerich will expire.
For Duxan, this is going to be a very, very important game for them. You know, 3 eliminations, it's not ideal. You go out this with a second place, 6 points, 9 points total. It doesn't feel great, but if you're able to get your chicken dinner off the back of this in a 2v3, you know, 13 points on this match feels really decent coming into the rest of the day. And with the blue pushing in, it is very, very ideal for them, but the Mad Balls just look so absolutely clean today. They looked at yesterday as well, and they pick themselves up yet another chicken dinner. That is 3 in the space of 2 days.
That's huge from Mad Balls. A complete change of pace from what we were seeing from them, looking an awful lot better. And also now, Blank, it goes back to our point about the fact that you don't want to leave it up to another team to decide your fate in the survival stage. You want to make as many points as possible in the limited number of games you have to play. And that's what Mad Balls are doing in droves.
Yeah, it's a stressful game for Mad Balls as well. Not an easy one. You can see that they're not super excited about this because it's more of a relief than anything they're able to pull off that chicken dinner. Playing within Lipovka, there was so much infighting in that area, getting forced out by the Gladiators. I think it was a very wise move for them to actually just send across from the rock side in the water toward those buildings. Yes, they had to fight for it versus Melise Esports, but they were confident to do that, and it sort of gave them that winning position. I think things got dicey as soon as they started to see the circle move towards the north side. Like, have we made a mistake? Did we make the right call here? But you just got to follow through. 44,000 kilometers travel for Gladiators once again. These rotates are coming through quicker. They're more confident with them. I don't know what happened between the space of yesterday and today, but there has been some serious conversations between these lads on the team.
Something's happened, you know. I don't know if it happened at the hotel breakfast or where it was, but it seems like Gladiators have got their heads screwed back on, and they're playing some really nice PUBG Mobile today, Blank. You know, this is exactly what we wanted to see in terms of them giving us a good game, showing us they deserve the invite in the first place and that they're able to make some moves here. What more will be in store for us, though, and can they keep it up? We'll find out. Let's get back to the desk with the #1 Gladiators fan. It's Jason Kaplan.
Sorry, I think Jackie misspoke there. Mixspoke. That's the #1 Gladiator fan ever. But we have to say, it wouldn't be Gladiators if they didn't show up exactly when they needed to kind of advance on through in an event. And hey, you know, credit to them, another massive game for them in terms of eliminations, great positioning as well. They were able to crash an NBA Esports and kind of do the exact same thing, just the other way around from the prior match. But also, Mad Balls, man, like, there's so many things to talk about. Oh, you know what? We're not gonna talk. No, let's do it. Maxman talks about gladiators, and then we'll hop to what I have ready for Colaris.
Okay, Jason McSpoken. But okay, gladiators. I didn't want to talk about them because I didn't want to curse them, Jason. Okay, that was the reason.
Oh yeah.
Now I see. Okay, but right now, gladiators of course playing the high ground position, able to leapfrog in the position that Mad Bulls left open after they regrouped from that 2-2 split was a really good spot. And also one thing I enjoyed Colaris from gladiators is they tried to go for that high ground on the road. They tried to fight Envest. They tried to also fight Duck Sandwich. Ended up not working out, but I think that if you're not in the city, you want to avoid a lot of that fight happening in Lipovka. Going for that high ground does give you a bit of an advantage. It didn't quite work out because Duck Sand had such a good angle, but I think that was going to be a game-winning play if they could survive until the later stage.
Honestly, I mean, yeah, go on.
Ahead. No, you go on.
I was going doolally in this game, if I'm honest, Jason. I was going crazy because how often do you see a basically close to Lipovka end like this? And for teams to try and manage their way through that, as you say, with Gladiators doing really well in terms of the eliminations and then going to the west for the rotate to try and make this work. Never mind, Mad Bulls winning off a 2-2 split across the rocks of north of Lipovka and in Lipovka. Where do you begin? There's so much to talk about.
Well, obviously the smoke wall that Maxman brought up while we saw Mad Bulls able to transition with the PL smoke wall, as he coined it, to get through safely was something to be seen. But if we're talking about how teams got into Lipovka, let's also mention Alter Ego, Colaris.
Oh.
Do it! Come on.
What are they doing? All right.
You got really close to the mic there.
I got really close to the mic. Okay, they're the Lipovka dropping team. Where were they? They moved west, right? They got lost one to heaven as they were walking through to heaven, which is ridiculous. And then they move north, and then they have to swim all the way back to Lipovka. They are lost at present. They are taking, I said it before this game, constantly taking risks here in PUBG Mobile. They're playing a very risky style. They've got splits. They're walking where they shouldn't be, going where they shouldn't be. And eventually, yes, they salvaged this, but only because teams that had track of them swimming probably was Pasija, but they got kind of rocked up on Gladiators and kind of lost in the mix. So they were allowed to come back up on the shore of Lipovka. Am I taking crazy pills? Anyway, yeah,
you lost him.
I'm done.
Well, not to mention, you also pointed out, too, when we were watching, that Gladiators is probably the only team that could see them rock up on the beach, but they were about at that 400-meter distance mark away, so potentially not seeing them. Obviously, Melise was in Lipovka, potentially not looking towards them, and we even saw Kissu like, wait, what are you guys doing in that building? How did you guys even get here?
Yeah!
He's going mad. I've never seen him like this.
Melise was like, who is he? What's going on next door? And suddenly, they were just... Anyway, I'm done.
You know what? You know what, Colaris? You need to cool down by playing some of the Frost Festival currently going on within PUBG Mobile. You can revel in the exhilaration of gliding down the slopes in a snowboard and using snow mounts like Maxman talked about yesterday, potentially turning people into snowmen as well. Make sure you guys load up PUBG Mobile, download the new update, and participate and play. Because also while you're playing, we do have the 2023 Popularity Annual Gala happening with PUBG Mobile introducing a brand new competition, exclusive honorable rewards for you guys at home to participate and win. It's all kicking off between November 15th and December 15th, so make sure you guys are getting into the game and potentially able to win some rewards you can show off to your friends. Also, while you're playing in this one, don't forget about the Pagani collaboration happening within PUBG Mobile as well. You can rev the engine with the iconic Pagani Amola and Zonda R models, which I believe. Colaris, are you ready to be salesman yet again? Tell us the
740 brake horsepower. You got a V12 engine as well as 710 Newton meters of torque, Jason. It's a car for you, but it's very expensive in real life.
Well, my question is, can I fit in the car? Because we all know I'm extremely tall.
Probably you cannot, actually. You're probably too tall.
Okay, well, that's a shame. Maybe we can get special order one and make one for me. And also, the last but not least, before we head to a break here, the new RPA4 Victory Dance, which is available now. You guys can show off your victories with the PMGC vibe, and also use your Victory Dance to cheer for your favorite PUBG Mobile team. And we all know who people are voting for. Max is all aboard the Gladiator train, but we have to wait till that train takes off after the side of a short break.